Hello, everybody. This is Jasper, and welcome back to another episode of the Newton Public Schools Alumni Association podcast series. And today we are here with another special guest. We have Ben joining us. So, welcome, Ben. Very excited to have you in the show and have you share a bit about yourself. So, I guess would you mind just getting us started with a quick introduction of who you are, when you graduated yourself, as well as what you're doing now?
Hi everyone, I'm Ben Lewis. Graduated Newton South in 2008, and I'm currently a consultant over at a company called Ernst& Young.
I see. Well, that sounds fantastic. So I guess would you mind just quickly sharing a bit about what you do at your consultant job? What is being a quote unquote consultant all about?
Yeah. So what I do specifically is I work in a system called SAP. I work on the security end, and we do system implementations for Fortune 500 companies. There's a legacy system called ECC, a new system called S4HANA, and basically my role is to help upgrade and keep consistent um, segregation of duties, rule sets, and appropriate accesses for the users as they upgrade to the new system.
Wow, I see. That sounds like a lot of planning and a lot of work to do. So I guess is being a consultant something that you kind of decided while you were in high school, or was it something that maybe you came to in college, or maybe even after college?
It was an after college thing. So I originally, out of high school, went to college for about a semester and then left and worked in restaurants for about a decade. During that time, I'd gone back to school, um,
Oh, I see.
got an associate's degree, then got my bachelor's degree, and then worked for a couple of years in a different industry. Um, then moved to during COVID, enrolled in a master's program, and out of that master's program, I got hired in this consulting role.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a fantastic journey, going through all these different industries, going from college to another industry and then going back to college and then getting all these degrees. I think that's absolutely amazing. And I guess since, you've just like all the rest of us gone to Newton South High School, is there anything that you did at Newton South High School, like maybe a course that you took, maybe a teacher that had a large impact on you, or maybe a club that you joined that you feel maybe helped you a lot in these times in giving you either a direct knowledge or maybe soft skills?
Um, that's a good question. I wasn't the best student in high school. I do have some teachers that made an impact on me though. There was a Mr. Bear who I don't think is there anymore. He was my sophomore year history teacher, and then uh, I also very much enjoyed classes with Miss Tao, who was my English teacher for
Oh,
2 years,
I believe she is
and
still here, yeah.
she's still there. Yeah, yeah. And then also I had a class with Miss Ang, and Miss Ang was I'm sure that you all remember some of the projects that you had to do. I think it was freshman year, big research project,
Right, yeah,
and she was
definitely.
very encouraging for me in in how I went about doing that.
I
Very
see.
much appreciated her. Um,
That is amazing. So I guess, transitioning out from Newton South into college, is there maybe, I guess, anything you did in your, you've gone through such a long and fascinating life journey, and I feel kind of bad, pushing it all into, I guess, one over enveloping sentence. But is there maybe one or two things you did in this, I guess, entire journey that you feel maybe contributed the most in getting you to where you are today?
um, One thing specifically, no, no.
I
It's a
see.
grouping of everything,
Wow,
right? Sort of
definitely, yeah.
you wind up where you're supposed to be at certain points in life, right? So it's just
Mhm.
taking things as they come and not getting overly stressed out about things.
I see, definitely. So I guess you told me that you went to one semester of college and then decided to leave college. Is there maybe anything behind the motivation of that decision?
The motive of leaving college, it was there was no motivation behind it. I don't think that I was ready to go to college at the time.
I
It was,
see.
as you know, I'm sure it's only gotten more pinpointed at Newton South. It's a very success driven school, right? It's a
Right.
very
Yeah.
successful area to begin with. and there's a lot of pressure on students to just
I guess,
toe the
yeah,
line
do all
and
those stuff.
go to
Yeah.
college after, right? Yeah. So I don't think that I was ever really um, prepared out coming out of Nuke South to go to college, and being on my own for the first time was a bit of a shock to my system, and
Right.
just needed some time to better prepare for it. And when I
Ah,
was
I
ready,
see.
it was a good experience, and I was
And I
ready
guess
to.
it worked marvelously for you considering that, you're doing a consultancy business right now. So I guess, you told me that you started kind of discovering being a consultant later on in life after college, maybe during the 10 years when you were working and kind of discovering yourself through the associate's degree as well as a bachelor's degree and even a master's. I guess what is that maybe spark, or is it a slow journey of discovery that led you to think, maybe I want to be a consultant when I exit this industry?
It was There was a thought in my head of my role before my master's program of getting into consulting. It seemed like a fun, challenging um,
Oh,
lifestyle
I see.
and career. So when I was in my master's, I was more or less looking for that sort of role, open to other roles as well. But I just happened to get lucky with the recruiting cycle.
I see. Oh, that is amazing. Well, congratulations. And I guess being able to get recruited as a consultant through this process. And I guess for, someone that maybe decided what they really wanted to do in life, I guess later there may be some other kids in Newton South who maybe even at this point they're kind of like, oh, I already had the entire rest of my life planned out, and they kind of, know exactly what they want to do. So, you might be surrounded by some of these people who maybe feel like they have decided to be a consultant long before you have. So is there anything that maybe mentally you have to make up for, or maybe anything based on specific knowledge that you did to make up for this?
Um, Nothing specifically. People tend to have their life planned out and things change, right? So
Mm-hmm.
um,
Definitely, yeah.
even the people who were set on being a consultant, I wouldn't really say that any of them were set on it. I think that they fell into the role um,
Right,
in a
yeah.
similar fashion, and they've stuck with it. Right? There are people who've been there for 2 decades, who have
Wow.
worked no other job, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's been a great experience for them, but there's also you should experience other things in life and
Definitely, yeah.
careers to know what you actually want to do.
You said that people, I guess, sometimes have worked in these places for 20 years without changing. Do you think that your, I guess, more unique life experience helps you in this job?
It definitely gives a different perspective.
I
There's
see.
definitely a difference in how I view things versus how someone who came straight from an undergrad program and hasn't done another full time job views problems
Right.
and goes about solving them. There are definitely differences in that, and just the basic communication, how we communicate with each other is different too. So
I see. That's interesting. So I guess you've had such an amazing life journey. We kind of learned so much about what you did at every process. So I guess just to end things off today, would you mind giving us maybe one value or mindset that you kind of really kept in mind or tried to keep yourself on this entire time that you think has brought yourself extremely far in life, and you think will also do the exact same for all of us high schoolers who compared to you have a lot less of a life experience?
keep a positive attitude about things. Life isn't always going to be easy. It's not always going to be fun, but just try to
Definitely, yeah.
keep your head on straight and keep a good attitude. Know that tomorrow's a new day and can always start over. So don't get bogged down in what's happening now, and just know that
I
you'll end up where you're
see.
supposed to be.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing, man. Thank you very much for sharing your inspiring life journey, because I certainly personally learned a lot from, how you, first believed and was confident in yourself that, maybe this wasn't for me, and then you kind of went on a slow journey of discovering yourself and, I guess getting yourself a stable life again. So, well, thank you very much to Ben for sharing all of this about your life. I hope that everyone listening has learned a great deal of experience about, the values that are important for being able to succeed in life, and, never letting yourself be, like Ben said, bored down by problems that come up. So thank you very much once again to Ben for sharing, and thank you very much to everyone for listening, and I will see you all next time. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Jasper. Take care.